Serato is some pretty cool stuff. Basically what it allows me to do is take my entire library of music, waves, MP3s, everything that I've collected, everything that I've made that I haven't been able to put on vinyl or dub plate or whatever, and take it out and perform it as if I had it on a record, which is pretty neat. In addition to that, it allows me to do all kinds of things that I can't do with just a record. For instance, before I even play my song, I can see exactly where the beginning of it is. I can see where my downbeat is. I can see my snare drums. And you can also see it color codes it for me so that I can separate those things apart from each other, which in really crummy mixing conditions, which every DJ's played at least a couple times, right? Yeah, I can see right in front of my face if I can't hear it, if my songs aren't lining up the way they're supposed to. In addition to that, the program allows me to set cue points inside of it. So, actually 5 for each song. So right now, I have my first red cue point here set for the very beginning of the song. Now, Serato allows you to spin records using the control vinyl in 2 different ways. It allows you to use absolute mode, which I personally don't use. Basically what that does for you is it transposes your song directly onto the piece of vinyl as if it were cut there. The beginning of the record indicates the beginning of your song, and 4 minutes and 22 seconds through the record in this song's case would be the end of the song. As you can see, I start play, cues up to the beginning eventually, and it plays. Now if I want to get back to the beginning of that song, old-fashioned way, all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so the reason that I use what's called relative mode is because in this mode I can advance the needle anywhere throughout the record, and no matter where I put the record, or wherever the needle is in the record, using various different controls, I can advance to any point in the song. For instance, cue points, loop points, some of the things I'm about to show you. Okay, so now like I said, my first cue point is set for the downbeat. Now let's say I start that song off and I'm going to mix it in and I want to cue it back. I don't have to worry about the backspin because that first cue point is transposed to a number 1 on my keyboard. I just hit that and, say I go to the bar for my drink and I don't make it back in time. I come back and I notice that my arrow is right down here and I think I'm in some trouble. We start it back at the beginning again. Shh, don't tell anybody. Alright, so next cool part about the program is the fact that you can give yourself multiple cue points at once. So, let's set a second cue point here. Let's scroll down. This looks like a little bit of a breakdown in the song. That's about to be a clean break right there. I'm having some USB problems. That's no good. Right here at the beginning of that beat, we're going to set one more cue point. Then in addition, we're going to set a 4-bar loop. Okay. So I just told the program that starting at that cue point, I want it to start looping that song every 4 measures. Or every 4 beats, I'm sorry. So now I can do my own remixes of this song. I can cue any points that I set via the number buttons without touching my needle whatsoever. So if I'm just trying to cue up and say I want to mix that break that I got that I separated out and only play that one little break of this song and use it for a backing behind a different song, I can just skip straight to it, feed it in. Now we have the funky drummer with a little bit of a keyboard behind it, and maybe just that particular clip of that song will be part of my DJ performance for the night. Okay, and it's so easy. I can hit all these buttons in real time, and every single performance becomes a different individual thing, just because of all this new control that I have over my music. In addition, a couple other cool things that it does. Working with the loops, you can set up auto rolls and do all kinds of crazy stuff, for instance. Another really cool feature about what relative mode here is, a real common problem or question people ask is what happens in this mode when it gets to the end of the record. And Serato has this sorted out so that when it comes to the end of the Serato record, let's try and find it here exactly. Watch the screen up here. You should zoom in on the screen for this part, actually. Okay, so we just ran out of vinyl control. The program automatically switches you into internal control. Keeps playing the song, music doesn't stop. I have complete pitch control here in the program. I can pick up my needle off the record, reset it back to the beginning, let go, and the program automatically switches itself back to relative mode. And now all my control is right back in the pitch control again. So yeah, I guess that's Serato 101.